the longer I'm at home, the more I want, this was Christmas, this was December 30th, 1947, so it was almost New Year's Eve. The longer I'm home, the more I wonder at the sanity of our family.
Dysfunctional family.
We just finished playing a vigorous game of leapfrog from kitchen to living room to bedroom to bathroom to kitchen. Right after supper, I showed Gary how to play, and he just loved it. So when we finished the dishes, he and I talked Mom, Dad, and Leonard into joining us. You could never tell if Gary was going to light on your head or on his head. But that's one way to give the rug a strong beating. We would have felt awfully silly if someone had come knocking at the door about that time. Can you imagine Mom and Dad and all of us leapfrogging all around the house?
Sounds like fun.
Oh, yeah, this is funny too. Leonard went out to check his mink traps today, and he caught a big fat duck in one of them. But a mink came along and ate most of it. Of course, he didn't catch the mink because the trap had been sprung. I don't know who he was the most angry with, the mink or the duck.
And I caught another duck about that area. I stuck it in my little Boy Scout pack sack and tied it down as a live duck now. Headed my bike home, about halfway home, the duck flew out of a pack sack and left.
The one that got away.
It took a free ride.
Well, sounds like he gets all of them and goes away.
I'm not going anywhere, just straighten my legs out is all. I took a girl out and we went to a movie.
Who?
A lady together for
Gary just came in.
Sandy.
Just
a minute.
Time out.
And we went to a theater with Sandy and I, and my knees would hurt so bad I'd have to get up and stretch them and then sit back down at the theater. Finally got so bad I walked out, said, you watch the movie, and I walked out in the parking lot, and here she came, accused me of, this is how teenagers can get away with this, but when you're adults it's hard to meet and come together. Because she accused me of faking the sore knees in order to not watch a movie that I didn't like. Just turned it around backwards over nothing. So that's why I'm not married again. Anyway,
women.
I just straightened my knees out.
Well, this one, Gary was really, he really liked Bing, and he just always said, when is Bing coming? When is Bing coming? He just came into the den where I'm writing this letter, and he said, who is this letter going to? And I told him to guess, and he said, Bing. When I asked him what made him think that, and he said, because he's the nicest. And also he said to tell you that Gary is good and has some clay and lots of tools. So guess you know who I talk about most of the time. Oh yeah, this is something else. Something about a tooth. I don't remember what that was. Oh, Bing, Gary has lost a tooth, and he sure looks funny. He has it in a jar and is collecting nickels from everyone. I think that was about all about that.
The tooth fairy was a big deal in our family. Everybody.
Well, this is about a tracking.
It's a moneymaker. That's good.
This is about a track meet. I don't think this is about Gary, but I thought, I was working in the store, but I said the folks talked me into going to a track meet at Kashmir this afternoon. This was the 6th of April on my spring break, and it was very cold over there then. So I went to the track meet. It was just a practice meet between Leavenworth, Wenatchee, and Kashmir, but I got to see Leonard run. He was so disgusted. He beat by a little kid from Wenatchee, and the time was far above Leonard's best last year. It was the first time he'd been timed this year, and he's been sick for several weeks. So we expect him to be much better later. He was far in the lead until the last few yards. And you know how the end of a mile can be such an upset. I sure hate to see him get as weak and sick as he was afterwards. First time he ever did that, I guess. Wenatchee won the meet. They had 60 men to our 12, but we came in second, I think. It was after 7 when we got home, and it was such a cold day.
Remember that, Leonard?
Mopping was a kid's name.
Really?
Oh, you remember? That's funny.
He was never close again. Yeah, he was never close after that.
It's okay.
This morning, Gary was trying to figure out when you could come over. I kept saying, no, he has to play baseball. And finally he said, maybe if he got sick, they would let him come over here. He talks about Bing all the time. That was the last one.
Oh,
There
that's
was
good.
another one, the other one that I
great.
can't find was the really funny one when he woke up in the middle of the night. It must have been in the summertime, not in the winter. And he couldn't find his cowboy hat. And he was sure he left it over in the neighbor's porch. And I don't know if Mom went with you, but anyway, I went over and hunted for that cowboy hat. He was so
In the
upset.
middle of the night.
In the middle of the night, and came back and found it on the love seat, on the bench in your bedroom, right where the linen closet was. There was his hat sitting there. But anyway, those letters are that thick, and sure have a lot of family history in them. It's just fun to read them.
Yeah, really nice.
Well, probably we better get to the cakes side of this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.